how you're gonna deal with cases where it becomes necessary to prosecute a police officer.
So two parts of that. One, yes, we must absolutely be much more aggressive in prosecuting police. If videos come out of any other people doing what police do, they're arrested immediately. Right. And then there is subsequent follow-up investigation, as there should be. If I had seen if I was the state attorney on the George Floyd case, I would have sought arrest warrants immediately. I then would have sought search warrants for their homes, their computers, their phones. I would have talked to their coworkers. I would have pulled their IA complaints. You know, doing those things to try to find a pattern to see what the ultimate appropriate charge should be. But we've got to stop treating police officers differently than we do ordinary citizens.
But they have a big
and so
right.
We actually have a really long plan on our website on how to do that. One is we need to appoint independent prosecutors who are either former public defenders or civil rights lawyers who are outside the conflicts of interest that exist within the prosecutor's office in order to aggressively prosecute cops. But then we also need to dismantle the systems and practices that create police brutality in the first place, right? And so things, again, like stop and frisk, things like protectional vehicle stops, things like we still allow police officers to walk around without body cameras. And about half of our agencies here in Broward County don't have body cameras. And so it's not enough to just be really, really aggressive in prosecuting police. We've got to force police to shape up and rethink the way that they do policing, because right now, in many, many neighborhoods, the only interactions that folks are having with police are negative. And they're having it because they're getting stopped when they're riding their bike in their own neighborhood, or they're patted down while they're standing outside the corner store or their house. We have to end those type of practices if we're going to really end police brutality.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was trying to interrupt you, but I shouldn't have, because I should have just taken a note and say it later. But the police officers, they have their own Bill of Rights, right? So police officers when they do something or commit some crime, they have, I don't want to say more or less rights than people, but they have their own police Bill of Rights. So their cases are handled differently. You can't just go and talk to the police officer like you can like some other person. I think they also have a right, like if you're going to try to make a case against them, especially like internal affairs, they get access to the information before someone's questioned them. So like, how would the state attorney deal with that? What about that?
So whatever Bill of Rights they have, that exists within the disciplinary structures of their departments. It has zero impact on whether they're charged with a crime. And so one of the things that we've said is we're going to create an investigatory unit that citizens can come to with complaints and do investigations ourselves. Because, as you know, far too often, folks who have complaints against police officers are forced to go to the very department where the police officer works in order to file an IA complaint. And look, there are some very good IA divisions. There are some very bad IA divisions. But if my loved one was beaten by police, I would not trust that police department to fully investigate at all. And so what we need is a separate entity, right? And that entity can be the state attorney's office.